This week's gonna be a short week. Obviously, did not hop on yesterday as I had mentioned on Friday. It was Juneteenth, so the American banking holiday. Didn't feel like trading, so slept in. And then Friday, I don't know if I'll be up streaming in the morning, just because I live in Vancouver. My girlfriend's competing in a bodybuilding competition in Alberta, and so she competes on the Saturday. She's flying out the Wednesday, and I'll be flying out Friday morning, so I don't necessarily know that I'll have time to stream. So it sounds like an early week, just streaming today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah, so let's get into it. This is the composite news for the week. We have some GBP CPI dropping tonight. I was going to try to dissect it a little bit. This is the CPI, kind of relates to the interest rate decision, 8.7 to 8.4. So you can tell their inflation is, they're expecting their inflation is dropping a little bit. As inflation tends to drop, less countries will probably maintain raising interest rates, or at least it'll be cooled down. And those that continue to have strong inflationary pressures are more likely to raise their interest rates, therefore they're more likely to be bullish in the market. That's sort of my basic just understanding of it, very poor man's understanding. But anyways, that's Tuesday night. Wednesday we have a couple orange folders for Canadian dollar. Big ones on Thursday. We have the Swiss financial rate expected to go up 0.25%. Then we have the British pound financial rate expected to go up 0.25% as well. So those are probably the big two on Thursday, the British pound and the Swissy financial rates. And then it just looks like some all around manufacturing index values that could cause a little bit of volatility on Friday. Alright, sad days, NZDCAD. This guy ended up hitting stop loss overnight. So he was at one point up 3-1, has come back down significantly, ended up hitting stop loss. So that's one of the trades we were in, and then at GBPNZD was the second trade we were in. If you want to understand the mechanics behind this one, this was a trade from last week. The anticipation of price projecting at a 2.05 level and then coming back down. The idea is price would have rejected here, come down, come up, and then as it came back down, we were getting into the sell as it broke below. Unfortunately, that hasn't necessarily happened. It kind of rejected at that level and has continued higher. I think the British pound is actually quite bullish right now, just based on their... The idea is that British pound is quite bullish right now based on their CPI data, which suggests inflation is still high. So their interest rates will continue to raise to combat that. But that's a poor man's understanding again, so don't necessarily take my word for it. But those are the two trades we were in. Let's take a look at the charts, starting at AUDCAD. Big rejection here at this 9.05 level. Coming back down here. Big break of this trend line into this, I wouldn't say that's a very good support level. Probably down here. So we are going to let this go for now and maybe see if price forms new highs. Again, this trend line here is a little bit too steep for us to see any value if it comes up to it, but it is a general guide. gonna wait for AUDCAD to form some structure before we start to get into it. AUDCHF, similarly, not very good structure there. AUDJPY, nice rejection here at this high. I think all the yen pairs have rejected today. Yeah, the yen pairs were just so bullish over the last few days. It was made sense that there was going to be a nice pullback today. So maybe we can get in on, if not a pullback today, get in on a pullback at some point. Yeah, they just had these amazing bull runs for the last few days. Alright, moving right along, let's finish up the Australian pairs. Not much for AUDNZD. AUDU, nice rejection, break out of this trend line into this level of support. I think we're gonna wait. CADCHF, CADJPY, again, nice little breakdown here. I would get into a buy if price comes back down here, I think anyways. We'll see how it plays out when price comes back down, or if price comes back down here, based on when it comes and if there's news out. So for example, if price is coming back down here and a new big news event is about to drop in the next hour or two, I might reconsider getting into a position, but I do believe price coming back down to this 105, between 106 and 105.5 level is a good opportunity for a pullback buy. We just need to figure out which one is the best yen pair. They're all possibly a good opportunity. We just need to find out the strongest one, whether it's technical or fundamental. Euro AUD starting to come back up into this zone. We'll see if market structure forms and we can try to get into a sell. That's our bias there. EURCAD, nice little market structure here. If price can break a new high here and then come back down, we could look to get into a buy to continue higher. Similarly with EURCHF, as price is up here, we could look for a potential buy as price comes back down here. In fact, we are going to set an alert for this level. EUROJPY, very, very high, hasn't necessarily dropped like the other pairs, but that's because the euro is doing quite well today for whatever reason. EURGBP, probably gonna wait. EURNZD, nice new breakout of those levels. Much there. EURUSD, we're just gonna wait and see. GBPAUD, waiting on market structure to form. GBPCAD did have that nice breakout there. Prices kind of rejected and started to come down. We have these lower highs here. High, lower high, lower high. Low, lower, low, lower, low. We'll see. We might. This one's interesting. I don't necessarily know that I would be interested in getting in a sell here, just because of how minimally this has broken the trend line. If this was a much more significant break, I could be interested in possibly getting into a sell as price came up higher, but because it's so low, because it's such a weak break of the trend line, price could still continue higher. So I think I'm just gonna sit out on that one. GBPCHF, this is the trade we got knocked out on last week. Nice upward momentum. Might wait for a pullback to get into this guy. GJ, nice big move. Again, waiting on a pullback. GN, this is the trade we are in. I'm gonna change that. Looking very bullish at the moment for price to continue higher. Again, not totally sure if we have a double top here at 2.07 and price will come down, or if price is going to continue along this channel and break this 207 level to continue higher. GU, just very overbought up here. Might wait for price to come back down and form some market structure. NZDCAD, this is very unfortunate. Had a nice 3-0 win here. Price is now broken out from that upward trend into this downward wedge. I still do think there's a lot of opportunity for price to break out of this wedge and continue higher. But we will wait and see. NZDCHF, similarly, nice little wedge here. Interest rate decision is going to be coming out, which will affect this pair significantly. So we will wait for that interest rate decision before we get in, but I think we're anticipating a sell here. NZDJPY, similar to all the yen pairs, probably some other better opportunities for a yen pair at the moment, so we're not super keen on NZDJPY. Probably more keen on CADJPY, to be honest. NZDU, not super happy with how this market structure is playing out. So we are just gonna leave it. USDCAD could look on getting into a sell as price comes up. So into this 1.337 level. Could potentially get into a sell. Again, this will be greatly impacted by the interest rate decision that's going to happen tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Jeez, Thursday, sorry. Wednesday is just the small folders here. Thursday will be the interest rate decision. USDJPY. Nice break, big rejection, not big rejection, but we got a rejection here at this 1.42, which is the high from November 22nd. And then these three continue to be quite bullish, so I'd be looking for a buy on any of these three for a pullback, but would want some good market structure to form first. Gold, slowly creating lower highs toward this support. Price could break up and continue higher, or it could break below this support and continue and drop very precipitously to this 1805 level. We're anticipating the drop, but I want price to break below here and then come in for a pullback before getting into a sell. That's sort of the plan. Let's quickly take a look at the 5 minute on a lot of these guys. If we can see some decent market structure that's played out over the last couple days, some higher highs, higher lows, or lower highs, lower lows, then we'll get into it. But if it just looks like it's gone sideways, like most of these have, then we're not too keen. Yeah, not too bad upwards momentum here on EURCAD, but market structure is not that pretty. EURCHF, this is looking a little bit better. I could see myself getting into a trade as price pulls back into this level. That's why I have the alarm there, or the alert. EUROGBP, again, nice sort of downward momentum here. However, we're not seeing any clear levels of market structure that have been respected like we have on EuroCHF. Here we have high, 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 break above the high, and what we can believe is this could be like a break and retest. So we've broken above this level. If we come back, are we going to retest and continue higher? Whereas EUROGBP, we don't necessarily see that. We have somewhat of a structure here, but if price goes up to that level, we're breaking above the trend line, and so we're breaking out of one level of structure to another. I like to sort of have my structures kind of layered on top of each other, so trend lines layered on top of support resistance levels. EURNZD has a bit of a structural level here if price were to pull back down, but again, not super keen. Sideways price action. GBPCAD, as I mentioned on the hourly, although we have lower highs and lower lows here, we're still in this overall upwards trend, and though price has broken out of it, it just hasn't significantly broken out enough for me to think that this is a new trend reversal, so we are just going to ignore that. GBPNZD, nice upward trend movement. Obviously we're in a sell, so the bias is the sell, but to be fair, like you can see this very obvious upward movement, much like the GBPCHF trade of last week. We were in a sell and we had seen clear price movement upwards. NZDCAD, not too bad. So I think the two main pairs that we're looking at are EURCHF for a buy and not EURNZD, is it? Yeah, EURNZD for a buy. So we'll keep them monitored. That's kind of it for today. That's it for the analysis. Just very quick, very sweet. That is at 18 minutes. Jeez. I go live every day, 5 o'clock. Feel free to tune in. If you tune in, feel free to ask questions. Ask me for a more in-depth analysis of certain pairs. I always do it the 5 minute and the 1 minute. And the trade strategy I go by is very simple. It's a trend trade strategy. So I'm looking for higher highs, higher lows, being able to draw trend lines, supply and resistance levels. Let's see, what is my education for the week, or for the day, is to especially if you're still new, this might not be the best advice if you're not new, I don't know, but try a lot of different trading markets. So when I first started, I actually was trading stocks, and I traded stocks for the first 6 months before I stopped for 2 years and then got back into stocks for about a year, I think. And I was really trading the early morning markets, so the the American stock market opens at 6:30 Pacific time, and so I was trading from anywhere about 6:30 till 8:30 in the morning. Very volatile times. Traded everything from low cap, mid cap to high cap stocks. Tried trading breakout trends, reversals, everything. It helped me gain experience, but it felt like there was something I was missing, and it was when I switched over to Forex that I really appreciated it. I really appreciated trading a little bit more. I felt like I could risk manage significantly better in the Forex market because of the leverages and the what I consider to be the interplay between the currencies. So like you look at a currency chart and it goes up and down from left to right. Whereas you look at a stock chart and for the most part it's straight up. I mean, of course there are failed stocks that go up and go back down and have these huge price movements that are readily known to many veteran traders. For like whenever they drop huge news, they're gonna spike up for a day or two, and a lot of bullish traders ride these waves up, and then a lot of short traders ride the wave down. But for the most part, it's not. I don't know anybody who trades Forex who doesn't buy and sell. Everybody buys and sells each market. Whereas stocks, you definitely have people that are like, no, I do 90% selling, or I do 90% buying. Like, I really don't short, or I really don't buy. It's just a different style of trading. But you never know. Maybe you're beating your head against a rock trying to be a Forex trader when really you should be trading stocks, because maybe it speaks to you on a different level, or maybe it's futures, or maybe it's, god damn it, what is it? Not futures. Maybe it's options trading. Maybe it's, there's literally so many vehicles by which you can trade. It's ridiculous. You can trade Forex futures, you can trade Forex options, you can trade Forex spot, you can trade stock spot, you can trade stock options, you can trade you can trade commodities, you can trade currencies, you can trade stocks. Like, it's just amazing the different varieties and everything you can trade and make money or lose money on. So that's sort of it, Not saying don't trade Forex, but maybe your style of trading is best suited to a different market and you just don't know it because you've never tried it. That's it for today. Appreciate you tuning in. I'll be back in again tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.